Hi, and welcome to your third tutorial in photography. In this lesson you will learn about controlling aperture. For this exercise, put your camera into AV mode. In AV, or aperture priority mode, you control the amount of light coming through the lens while the camera will look after the shutter speed automatically for a correct exposure. As you can see in this first example, we use an aperture of f3.5. This will create a shallow depth of field where our subject Naomi in front is sharp and stands out while the remaining two subjects are blurred out. In our second example, we use an aperture of f5.6. Once again, we focused on Naomi and recomposed our shot. You can see that she is still nice and sharp, and we were able to create a nice out of focus background. In this third example, we now use an aperture of f8. You can clearly see that the two subjects behind Naomi are starting to come into focus a lot more compared to when we shot at f3.5. In the fourth example, we use an aperture of f10. When you start to close down your aperture, you will create a large depth of field where the subjects in the foreground to the background of your photo are in focus, as you can see. In our final shot, we use an aperture of f13. You can see by starting out of f3.5 and closing down the aperture to f13 how you can make your subject stand out from the background to making everything in focus by controlling your aperture. Remember, using a small aperture number will create a pleasing out of focus background called shallow depth of field, and using a large aperture number will create a large depth of field which brings a lot into focus.